and welcome. So today we're going to try to create a buttery background. So I do start off with a brush. I select a color that's kind of in the middle of the image with my dropper tool and then kind of brush it on everywhere. And if I'm not working on separate layers, I do just go back in with the history brush here and kind of erase it where I don't want all that haze. And then we move on from this portion and start selecting the more fabric-y, closer to the subject parts. So I'm using my wand tool, the magic wand tool. All you do to bring it up is hit W on your keyboard, and then you start selecting. So you can select, and it will select similar kind of either similarly colored or textured things, like kind of surrounding the image. And that's just purely from the AI. So it's going in, it's selecting what I want it to select. Hopefully it's working well. And it does take a little bit of like fiddling, and it's kind of tedious, but the result is pretty nice. And when you have a good selection that you like, I like to do is duplicate my back, well, just press Command J, and all it does is it creates a separate layer. And now I'm using the filter and then dust and scratch, or filter, noise, dust and scratches. And then what that does is it kind of like creates a very buttery look, kind of how Gaussian blur does it, but like this does it even more naturally, if that makes sense. It's kind of softer, more of a gradient, doesn't push out as much and bleed. So I do tend to like this one a little bit more, especially for things like this. And then from here, I just look around and I try to find what parts of the image weren't blurred to my liking or weren't affected in the way that they should have been. So going in, you can use your lasso tool like I'm doing here, or you can go in and use the magic wand tool again. But the magic wand tool may, just because this image has so many like similar colors, it might want to grab like the blanket, or it might want to grab you know, baby swaddle or something. And to avoid that and avoid like headache, that's why I'm going in with the lasso tool. But it's completely doable however you want, as long as you are selecting those parts that need to be reselected and trying to avoid whatever the subject or the background that you don't want touched to be like selected. So here, the driftwood, I'm trying to avoid it at all costs because I don't want the brown to kind of seep through. I want that cream color to come through a lot more. So you saw there that I went back, and that's because I missed a couple spots. So right here, I missed this. So I'm going back in with the lasso tool and I'm trying to fix it. And I do this quite a bit just because you won't be able to see it and notice what you're doing, especially in colors like this, where it's like such a fine line between the difference. But once you apply that change, it does become a very dramatic, like stark contrast. So again, going in, seeing how that does, and then going back, adding more if needed. And just, it's such an easy way to blur everything, and it keeps it looking natural. Like it doesn't, the shadows are still there. It doesn't make it look like a one-dimensional kind of like fake thing. But yeah, this is how I fix my backgrounds. And I hope you learned something new, you guys. Yeah, I will talk to you soon. Bye.